Hi, in this video I will be using vibe coding to create a custom AI agent in Cursor, and I will also be using browser automation through AI for the first time, so I'm giving that a try. When I first started to do this, it kept building LangChain into it, and I don't really like LangChain, but then I realized, so I was trying to force it not to, but then that's a dependency for browser use, so have to use LangChain, unfortunately. Now, I've already been vibe coding for a while. I know that the term just came out recently with a viral post from Andrej Karpathy. I have my own version of it, and sometimes you can let it kind of go. Some people think of vibe coding as just letting the agent go and let it kind of go on a loop and a loop and a loop. In general, I've found that that is a very bad idea, and it creates more work than it solves. So if you think about it creates even if it's just a little tiny bit is off of what you want, or it creates in some cases it creates a really strange bug. If you just let it kind of keep looping that grows and it magnifies significantly and creates more work. And so what we actually want to do here is we want to do it a little bit of step at a time. And I'm not sure how well these rules work, but I've created a few rules. So we got the coding stack rules. I'm going to take this out. What I found the first few times that I ran this was I have some input files that target specific locations, and it was editing those, like, oh, these are your weekends that you want to go away, here's some additional weekends, or it would actually, especially the target locations, it completely overrode it, which was super random. Did not want it to do that, so this actually helped do that. And then if we go to the more rules, so we got the coding style preferences. I don't want it to write comments. I kind of want to step through it, and I don't like it to try to run things within the terminal here. I like to run my terminal separately. I'm a weirdo like that. That's just my personal style. And then I do like to do a lot of like print debugging, and so we have some rules for that. And so actually one of the first things we'll have it do is write a print debugging. So let's actually. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically we have an objective that I like to do all caps to kind of outline different areas. This is a custom AI agent for finding good deals for flights. I have a bunch of points, miles, let's say miles, with American Airlines. So I want to use those well, and I have a list of target locations and then times that fit my schedule right now. And so what I wanted to do is eventually what we're going to do is this is going to run regularly throughout the day, document that time, day, and the miles of locations, and kind of picks things at random, and then I'm going to view it in like every week or something, and we'll see what kind of deals I can get, because I want to maximize those miles and find some frugal trips. So here's kind of the instructions. I'm trying to give it not too much, but I don't think this is too much at first. It might be too much, so we might just want to say, just do step 1, step 2, and then do step 2, etc., etc. I also find it's useful to tell it what files to name. Like if you're gonna have it create files. I've run this several times, and it kind of goes all over the place in terms of creating files. And I like the idea of, I don't really like creating the main. I like creating the name of the script of what's actually happening, and telling it to put it in there. I don't want, one time it created a utils.py, I put this in there separately. I didn't want that either. I know a lot of people like to keep the files small. That's not my preference. Maybe too old school of a coder. And then just some specific requirements in here, and I guess some of these I probably could have put into the and actually I think I'm going to take this out. I'm not sure I want this because I'm going to do the debugging. It might do this automatically, so let's take this out for right now. Alright, so now we're ready, and I've got a timer. Let's just see how much we can get done with this. So we're going to go here, and we're actually going to, let's close. Okay, so we want to do @web, so it can search the web for browser use, because we do have a link in here along with some example code. And we're just going to use time ranges, just in case. Okay. Start. Go away. Run starting instructions. Just to make it clear. And if I paste it, it'll just put like a reference. So we're just going to leave this as is. We're going to do the thinking model and edit, not the agent. The agent is where it will go much more on a loop. It already will do a lot of stuff with this thinking model. So let's go ahead and run this. Okay, it's stopped, and it is, okay, to run the code, you'll need to install, okay, maybe it's asking us to install this. I do have the OpenAI key. Okay, go ahead. Usually it writes the code. Let's just say, okay, suggested code looks good. Go ahead and create it. Okay, that took like less than 30 seconds to do that. Now it's actually created it. And let's take a quick look at this. So first of all, let's check to make sure it didn't edit these like it did in the past. All right, that's great. So now it created a print statement as I asked it to. There's a global debugging. Well, yes. It's printing it. Yes, I like it's printing it to a date timestamp. That's awesome. Target time ranges is creating a class there. Target locations. All right, we're just going to run this and see what happens. So I think what we want to do. Let's go. Okay. No. This is really interesting. So it's actually going to Expedia here. So first of all, at least the browser use is happening. So that's a good sign. It already thinks I'm a robot. Oh, that's funny. I don't know how to quit this. Try again. Maybe I can help it. Which option is the sound of cats?
Option 1. Option 2.
Bell.
Option 3.
Bam.
Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stop this right now because I don't think we did the template message correctly. So let's see where it puts the templated message. I wonder if it has, expensive. There we go. Let's least expensive nonstop American Airlines flights at aa.com. Okay, so actually that was good news. The browser use worked. The code seemed to be working. It just didn't have the proper usage. My prompt was bad, so that's actually on me. All right, let's try running it again now. Okay, this is good. So going to AA.com. It's doing DFW. That's good. All right, it's picking Orlando. My cousin lives in Orlando. All right, it's picked one of my correct dates, so 5/18. I believe that's correct. Let's go back to time ranges. Ooh, it screwed it up. I think it picked 15 and then it picked 18 again. Okay. So it did that wrong. I wonder if the model did not understand the instructions or it was not fed the correct instruction. Okay, wait, is it trying it again? But this time, maybe we need to use depart and return. Okay, so it didn't. Okay. Airport. No, the airport isn't the problem. This is interesting. So now we're actually, I think in general, from the vibe coding standpoint, so far this is a success. The fact that it is actually working, I think what we actually need to do is we need to understand better what prompts are being sent exactly to browser use, essentially, because it might be, so it's either that the browser use is failing or we're not giving it clear enough instructions. So let's stop this now. Okay, so what I want to do is let's go ahead and we'll trying to think if we need this here. Let's add let me create a different prompt here. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to match the language to here, depart and return. So we're going to do with the depart date and the return date. Okay, and then now what we're going to do is I want to double check. So this is already one kind of fork here, where if you just let the agent go on loop, you might not know exactly what's happening. And again, let's turn off the agent. And I think I'm just going to do regular 3.7 sonnet because I think this is a pretty straightforward instruction here. And what I want to do is I want to have like a file system that makes it easy for me to review these. What exactly are we sending to it? Because sometimes what you end up building, it just looks a little bit different, and for whatever reason, maybe sometimes like what I found is the AI will create code later on that changes this or modifies it, and you don't know. And so we're gonna make sure that everything is correct by documenting in great detail through text files. Now this is maybe not how a lot of people like to do this, but this is my way of doing it. Okay, that only took about 10 seconds. That's part of why I think not using thinking every time makes sense, especially for something simple like this. We're not going to even check it. We're just going to accept it. And I would like to point out that we're basically 13 minutes into it, and we already have something that actually feels like it's pretty close. So let's run it again, and let's see what happens. So far, I'm pretty happy with this because let's just say via vibe coding, it was able to find the browser use. I have never used it before. It was able to implement it. I have no idea how the browser use code works or the plugins, etc. I don't like using LangChain. It's using LangChain. It's got a lot of documentation here. I think that's maybe useful for debugging for ourselves. See, it's already messed up again. It's not doing, so this might be a browser use issue. I mean, at least it's doing something here. This is the first time it's filled in the return date. Is it going to get the depart date right now? No. That'd be unfortunate if this is like the most basic thing What are you doing? It's kind of going off on a tangent. I'm kind of curious what it'll do. While it's running that, let's actually open up this right here. So this is what we sent there to browser use. Okay, so it looks like I need to put a space there. With the depart date being May 15th and the return date being May 18th. Well, it's searching depart and return at the same time. Okay. It's kind of going off on a tangent here. Let's see if we can gain some information from... Did it ever... I think this time I think it started off with putting in the 15th. Okay, this feels like it's stuck on a loop here, so we're gonna kill it. And let's take a look at the... I think this will be easier if we go into the logs. We're gonna have to debug it here, that's fine. Because I think what it's doing is, it's not clear. So we have 5:15 here. It's doing the location right, but it's losing track of this depart time. Yes, so it has this goal correctly here. So it's thinking that it had the wrong error, when actually it's a date thing. So it's actually getting the dates right. Let's see. So we'll put a space here. So it's extracting the dates correctly. Maybe what we can do is let's put another line here where we give it more detailed instructions on being really clear about, like, hey, pay attention to the dates. Okay, so we're gonna try to hard force this error just to see if we can get it to move forward, because it's misdiagnosing the error. So we're gonna try to pre-diagnose it, because it seems to be doing the same thing over and over again. So we're gonna say double check the depart date is correct. Sometimes you input the return date into the depart date field and input nothing into the return date field. Let's see if this allows us to run this a little bit better. So we are from a vibe coding standpoint, this is great. It is possible that browser use just isn't very good right now. It's very new. Does it check redeem miles? It does not check redeem miles. So we want to make sure. So we didn't do that in here. That's fine. Redeem miles. Let's just create a new line. Just take that out. Okay. Huh. Somehow American Airlines... What if this is an anti-bot thing where they're like, how are you satisfied with the experience on the website? For some reason, it's got itself in a loop here. It did the return better. Let's just abort it and rerun it. I kind of want to point out, like, if I'd let the agent kind of just keep going, then it might have taken us down a path that we don't want to go down. Right now, it's looking like it's possible that browser use is not going to be able to do this with any sort of reliability. So far, it has not worked, but we'll see if we can. Some of the issues were on my end, and we'll see if with some prompt engineering and stuff like that, we can actually get it to work well enough. Okay, so start date is correct. We're gonna go to Denver. Love Denver, great city. Okay, it's getting the depart date correct. Is it gonna check the redeem miles button? Because I put that afterwards, so we'll see. It did not check the redeem miles button. Okay. But it actually did the search, so we have improved here. It's possible that I need to get it to do the redeem miles button first. There we go. What just happened? is it doing this? Re-enter and confirm accurately and submit the search. Okay, I wonder if it's because it's seeing this screen while it's loading and it's thinking that there's an error. There we go, you found it correctly. What? It's again going on a loop. Okay, so this might be an issue with browser use. So potentially this is not a good use case for browser use. Maybe it's due to the way the website works, or maybe it has to do with browser just isn't ready. Because I think it's like version, if we go here, like version 0 point something. Let's say right here. I don't know what version it is, but it's a very new version. Let's put it that way. Okay, keeps going back. What if it'll figure it out here? Okay, so let's give it some additional instruction. Stop it, it's going in a loop. Alright, so we're actually going to put this least expensive from a redeem miles perspective. So we're going to kind of put the redeem miles at the top and at the bottom, so it does that. Again, I'm glad it didn't build the code beyond this. Maybe we just have to use the API. Maybe that's the only way to do this, and just suck up the fact that they're gonna charge us differently. Maybe we need to wait for browser use to be better. Or maybe I just need to give up on this and this is not the right agent for, this just isn't going to work very well. And that has nothing to do with vibe coding and everything to do with what can and will work with the current technology. So it pulled in the dates correctly. We can see it's got a location. Select, so it's, here we go, enter flight details, select redeem miles, enter DFW for departure. It can pick any of those. Let's see if it, alright, that's fine. The point isn't to necessarily pick anything specific, just pick any location. Okay, depart, return. Did it, oh, I didn't see whether or not it selected redeem miles. I don't believe it did. It did not. But let's see, you know, if it can actually, okay, it waited. All right, so it's no longer loading though. There we go. Okay, here we go. We might need to give it instructions on what type we're looking for. I'm curious what it'll, so it's probably select the lowest one. All right, so we're making progress here via prompt engineering. I'm glad I have, oh, and just when I thought we were, oh, did it document it? Actually, memory documented nonstop flight details from DFW to Bogota using redeem miles. 1 out of 10 flights. Where did it put that? I wonder if it needs to finish it up so it can document it and return that. So round trip redeem miles. All right, it did not do redeem miles again. But let's see if it can wait for the loading. Okay. Okay, so telling it hard coding in or telling it wait for loading definitely helped. But running it again, so it looks like here, did it find the same one? It's supposed to find 10. Oh wow, it error 5. Like, okay, let's see if we have an output here. Okay, so it did not document the response. Let's actually take a quick review of it. So searching for flight deals, it's using the browser use. return response. So what is calling this? I want to ask it the question, but sometimes I don't trust its responses. So response, keep switching to agent. We don't want to do. Okay. Let's do this because it's not storing the response, so I'm not sure exactly what is getting sent back. I think we need that in order to be able to error. Okay, so it didn't like that. We'll go ahead and do 3.5 sonnet. I personally think 3.5 sonnet is fine and does this really well. Okay, we're going to accept all the changes and we're going to go back to the prompt and we're going to make it, let's see if this works now, if this works better. So right now we're at 35 minutes and most of our work has actually been on prompt engineering, trying to get it to actually do this once. We want it to do it once where it can document at least one redeem miles from one target location for target date range. It's unclear if it's able to do that. It need to search flights using redeem miles. It still has not done the redeem miles. It's extracting that. Ensure redeem miles is checked. No. It's selecting the dates. Oh, no, this time it didn't select the dates. This might just be an abort on the project because of redeem miles. Now what is it doing? I mean, because of browser use. That said, this is from a vibe coding standpoint, I think this is a success. We got to the point, one of my goals here was actually to test browser use as well. And it's failing this pretty miserably. And so I think what I'm going to do is my next vibe coding video, I will do something that doesn't involve browser use so that we can get a better understanding and take this to the next level, because I think that this we would need to just rewrite this, re-roll this from an API standpoint, of which I'm not excited about because, again, I think the pricing will be different. And so I wanted to actually check to see, maybe I should still do the pricing via the API, but I think that's kind of like its own separate thing, and I think that would work a lot better because I've never used the American Airlines API, and so that would be presumably a lot more reliable than this. It should be a lot more reliable than this. We're going to go and import this, and we're going to run it one more time and see what happens. And while it's running that, let's check. Oh, it didn't actually finish, so it didn't store it in there. But let's double check our prompts. Find the newest one. It's also not identifying nonstop. Let's give it one more chance, though. Did not check the redeem miles, but at least it's doing this. It's loading. Okay. Is it going to wait for the loading? Good. It waited for the loading. Okay. It's extracting the flights. What's the price? $538. Is it sorting by? All right. Okay. If we can assume, so this could work if it's able to do this reliably, which still it seems like a big if. Because I could kind of assume, okay, if the price is low, then the redeem miles is low. I don't know if it quite works out like that, though. Okay, it's kind of stuck on a loop. I'm gonna call browser use on this one, and if I were to consider doing this again, I think what I'll do is I'll start from scratch, but I'll eliminate the browser usage in here, and we'll just do it via the API and see what we can get from that. Maybe we'll still get some useful information for finding good flight information, but I'd say that from a vibe coding standpoint, again, this is a success, but from a browser use standpoint, pretty big fail, because I don't think this is even that complicated of a situation. We're not logging in, so we don't have any information like that. We don't have like a cart, and it's failing at even like the first step, just the first screen. It's not doing the redeem miles checkbox, as even though it's identifying it, it's not following its own goals here. So hopefully you found this interesting. Let me know if you've had any success with browser use, because I'm still gonna test it on some other things, but very unimpressive at this point. While the vibe coding worked really well. And again, I'm glad we didn't go through the full set of this, give it the agent to just run on a loop and then have it build a bunch of code, only to have it not be able to work at a key step, which is the browser use. Because there's a whole bunch of other stuff that should happen after this that now we're just not going to do. We're just going to throw the project away and start over from a different angle. Anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to shoot a lot more vibe coding videos, and I'm excited about the next one because I think it'll be a lot better than this one. There's no thing that we're going to test other than vibe coding itself to a pretty high level, and I think we're going to be able to do that in a much faster way than this one. So we spent about 40 minutes. I think if I had to do this without vibe coding, it would have taken a lot longer, because it would have taken me 40 minutes just to kind of read through the documentation on browser use and figure out how to do it. So in that sense, it was great. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.